It's been a busy weekend when it comes to strikers maybe not coming into Manchester United or maybe other strikers coming in. There's a bit of a striker merry-go-round at the moment, Flex. I tell you what, actually, what you do deserve, Flex, credit for. When you did your Flex's view on Saturday, I saw a lot of the comments. I saw a lot of the UV community. Don't say that. Don't believe this. Don't believe record in Portugal. Don't believe that Gyokeres has said no to United, or don't believe he's put priority elsewhere. Don't believe that, even though when it comes to the Gyokeres saga, the record in Portugal's got everything right. Everything right. I'm not going to believe it until later on in the day. If Fabrizio says it, Fabrizio comes out and says it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. There is two sections of that comment section on that video. There's one pre-Romano, which is bullshit. And then there's post-Romano goes, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. So that leads the question, who do we get? Because we need a striker. Is it still possibly going to be Gyokeres, or could it be someone else? Could it be Hugo Ekitike? Because seemingly this one's all sped up, and now we like him because he's a Man United fan, Flex. So Florian Plettenberg said yesterday that Manchester United have also made contact with the management of Hugo Ekitike over the weekend and have expressed concrete interest. Man United are now in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt and Ekitike. No decision has been made yet. Liverpool and Chelsea are still in the race for the striker too. A bit more of an update because Ekitike, as I mentioned, in December of last year, said, my favourite club as a child was Manchester United. I've always admired them. People also found tweets that he was doing back in 2021 when Ronaldo was back, even tweeting about the club then. He's such a big fan. According to Florentine, he said Man United are so far the only club to have made direct contact with Eintracht Frankfurt. Liverpool and Chelsea have, up to now, only had concrete talks with the players' management. So seemingly Man United are one step ahead when it comes to all that, because not only are they talking to the player, they're talking to the club as well. It had been reported that Ekitike could possibly cost as much as €100 million. But it's very interesting that after all of this Gyokeres stuff happened over the weekend, with Gyokeres not explicitly saying no to Manchester United, but saying to Manchester United, my priority is to go to Arsenal because he wants Champions League football. It's led to Manchester United going, right, if Gyokeres is less likely, that means we've got to look at other targets. Those other targets seemingly are Ekitike, hence talking to not only the player, but also the club to gauge a price points. But also looks like Victor Osimhen might not be totally off the table anymore, even though I think Galatasaray still think that they're leading the race to re-sign him somehow, some way. It's going to cost a lot of money. The Al Hilal stuff has really died down, particularly now the Club World Cup has actually started. So Osimhen might be on the market, but we're now in a situation where the striker that Man United might be signing this summer, and at one point it was guaranteed we're going to sign a striker, now it's we might be signing, is murkier than ever. So the real question is, who are we going to sign to lead the line this coming season? I mean, it's really up in the air, Flex. Who's it going to be?
And it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess. And that's still including the possibility of you don't get one as well. Because I think what a lot of people, it's been really interesting to see all of these opinions and stuff, because it is provoking a lot of opinion, because we all agree we need a striker. We can all see the club is trying to get one. That's why there's no point arguing about, are we trying to get... We are trying to get a striker badly. Bid gone in, proposal to Dilap, 30 million. That would have been our striker if we said yes. Clearly trying to get Gyokeres. He's umming and ahhing, giving priority to Arsenal. Fair enough. Plus the Messi saga that's actually going on. Šeško hasn't really been mentioned with us because that seems like the Arsenal kind of vibe. Then Osimhen, and obviously now Ekitike, who's entered the chat. So I think I don't know. I don't know who Man United's prime striker target is. I think there's just many on the list, and like you should do, to be fair, is be constantly weighing up the options, constantly involved in what's going on, constantly maybe pivoting. Yes, there's agent briefs. Yes, there's things that go out, and you might in the back sort of have the one that you definitely want, i.e. we really do want Gyokeres, man, but it's becoming difficult. We don't know what the release clause is going to be. They're not playing ball over there. Also, we've spoken to Victor personally, and he's given the vibe, like, I'll be honest, I'm waiting for what the president's going to do and what it's going to actually cost to get me out of here. be honest, I probably want to go Arsenal, or I do want to go Arsenal.
That's that
You know what I
whole
mean?
Gyokeres
You
thing.
got to. It's
That's a
crazy.
disaster. How
And
that's all
he,
played out over
and
the
even
last few
him
days,
saying
that is a
that, yeah,
disaster. That's what I mean. He
Arsenal
must
could
be
still
furious.
say, yeah, and not even just that. It's Arsenal can still say, well, we were probably going to go Shesko anyway. We
This is what
kind
I
of,
mean.
so I
This is what I
know you want
mean.
to come here, but so now the Arsenal fans are entering the chat like, what's our club doing? Just get Gyokeres. He's right there. Most of them, I think, want him. So this is just crazy. But then what we're saying is, and a lot of people are spang on, if you're going to spend big, like I tweeted it, I don't know what you lot think. I just think, please do not do 100 million Ekitike. What is he, 21, 22?
You don't want a project
Please.
striker. You're
He's 22. Listen, is he better than Hoyland? Yes, he looks good, man. He looks good, but I've been there, man. I'm personally too scarred. Of course, whatever happens will happen. But for me, if we're going to spend a big piece, just go for Osimhen. Go all out. If that means, didn't really want to get another guy on like 270, but fucking hell, it's Osimhen. But do it. Do it. For him, do it. If it's Ekitike and that, and these type of guys, Christian Vivel, because I know you're kind of involved that side, Bundesliga side. Apparently, he's a friend of one of the people at Frankfurt, something like that. I read.
Right.
Whatever it is, he'll probably be a good port of call. Get that price down, bro. Get that price down. We can't afford to be doing 100 million, euros on this Ekitike kid. Like, yes, he's been linked with Moose for the last 3 summers. I remember on Sky, I've been covering him nearly every summer. Newcastle United, Man United at times. This summer it's been Chelsea, Liverpool, and now us. Like, he's always, he's highly rated. I'm not saying who's this nobody and I never heard of him. I'm not saying that. But he's also not probably as accomplished, obviously, in terms of goal scoring as Gyokeres. Doesn't score as much goals. Had a very good season this year. What, 22 goals is it? Is it there? I see in the league. Or no, just, 15 in the league, 22 in all comps. So, he's doing all right. But I don't know, man. Please do not put insane money down on Hugo Ekitike because we're getting desperate because of it. The only insane money I should see personally is for Victor Osimhen. After that, yes, Mateta, Ekitike. I'm not saying these players can't be our striker. I'm just saying, please do not do something mad. And I don't know what Frankfurt's saying because his price seems high. His price seems very, very high. I don't know. So here we go. The saga's just got even bigger. Forget just Gyokeres. It's bigger than that now. Again.
Yeah, it's really wild what's happened the last few days. Like I said, I think when it comes to Gyokeres, certainly that whole situation, not just from United's perspective, but just in general, that's turned into a complete mess. I mean, that initially, a couple of weeks ago, that was one of the most straightforward deals to do. Gentleman's agreement, you pay it, Gyokeres decides where he wants to go. Now, no one really knows what actually Sporting are looking for in terms of the price. It's not the release clause, but it's not the gentleman's agreement. Then the clubs that are talking to him as representatives, suddenly it's, I want to go to Arsenal. Next day it was Arsenal have frozen their negotiations with him as they kind of figure out what they want to do. So if you're Gyokeres, all of that's leaked out, you'd be furious going, well, where can I can't go back to Sporting. I might not go to Arsenal. The club I could go to United. I'm pissed off because I said I wanted to go to there's just a whole mess there. The Osimhen one, like you say, is complicated because he wants a lot of money. And also, people thought he was going to go to Saudi again. That's collapsed. Galatasaray now think that they can get him, which would be a massive coup for them, considering that, my goodness me, I mean, they were the ultimate backup last season to go on loan because all of the deals fell through and they were the only window that was, transfer window that was still open. The Turkish window was a week or so, shuts a week or so later. Now he could go back there permanently, but how are they going to afford that? And also, they just got Leroy Sané, where they're spending a lot of money in. So how have they found that money? And then, like you said, when it comes to this Ekitike stuff, a couple of weeks ago, it felt like if anyone was going to sign him, it would probably be Chelsea. They were the one that was linked to him the most. But even they, and a lot of people were going, but the asking point, the price point for Ekitike, 100 million euros. He's not worth that. Like he's not worth that.
And he is very good. He is a very good striker, by the way. He's very good.
Exactly.
Like,
but he's
we'd
not
be
worth,
happy if we got him, but that money.
Yeah, but he's not worth that. Now he could turn into that player, absolutely. And you do look at some of his stats, and you look at all those different metrics that people point out, and all of those different graphs people point out, and they're very impressive. But you go, like you said, from a United perspective, go, we've been here before.
We've been here before.
It goes back to if this was another club, and it was like Liverpool or Newcastle or whoever, and they spent 100 million euros on Ekitike, you would almost have some kind of reassurance that they're not going to get that wrong. They're not going to get that. So there must be something there. But for us, there's no trust that they would get that right.
I think what we're clearly seeing is this isn't Ineos defender or, this, that, and the other, which people will probably say. If you just look at it, don't forget Ineos, just look at the volatility of the market. Look at what's going on. Look at what clubs are charging. Look at the uncertainty surrounding players. It's nothing to do with our sporting people. Nobody's going and acting swiftly for any of these. We've just seen Osimhen in, out, up, down, hokey cokey for what he's doing. This is the second window now he's been doing that. So clearly, obviously, that is not an easy deal to go and do. Otherwise, it would be done. And you can see on the verge of this, collapse. On the verge of that, collapse. We can see with Gyokeres, it's a public spat. Like, that's not an easy deal to do. You can see with Ekitike, that price is ridiculous. That is not an easy deal to do. So, and the one that was an easy deal to do, i.e. there's a release clause, it's Liam Delap, everyone put your bids in the table.
And that's why everyone wanted to do it. And that's why everyone wanted to do it, because that one was cool. Look, like I said, look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal with
Arsenal still
the Arsenal fans they're going like, well, just go get Šeško, just go get Gyokeres. And they're going, I don't know.
Exactly.
Clearly. And just because
it's not
the
easy.
Gyokeres one, like I said, is a great example of this. Just because we don't know or that information isn't public yet, that doesn't mean that everyone's dragging their heels, because everyone kept going, everyone knows the price for Gyokeres. Why isn't anyone paying it? Why isn't anyone paying the price?
You don't know what it is.
And then the reality was a week or so later, the reason is because they found out through all of these intermediaries that gentleman's agreement doesn't actually exist. Well, actually, they think it might exist, but the sporting people say it doesn't exist, and now it's spilled out.
Then that's a lie, Owen. No, that's
exactly.
just well, Gyokeres has put a statement out, and so is the president. There's definitely a problem.
Exactly.